Welcome back. New School Sensei podcast. I'm your host, Lance Douglas. Parkville King.
Well, Parkside.
Parkside King. Ken Douglas. We're in the Mansion Studios.
Parkville Mansion Studios.
Oi.
There are a lot of mansions in Parkville. You've seen driving around, yeah?
Great area, mate. Great parks. Just got the zoo, good cafes. I love it. Okay, speaking of awesome area, this podcast topic, we're talking about what are the injury risks of karate.
Boom.
And we can talk more broadly, martial arts.
Yep.
Now, let's pre-frame this. There's injury risk in everything. Injury risk, to be honest, we've shot a few podcasts today.
Oy.
My back. You could say there's an injury risk running a podcast. I'm getting a sore back here.
That's it.
I think I hurt myself the other day. I was sitting cross-legged, and my boy Aki, he bolted, so I had to bolt after him. Getting up off the ground, tweaked my knee. So I think another time my boy was playing up, I had to move him, and I tweaked my back lifting him. So there's injury risk everywhere, Ken.
Mate, it's the back is getting constantly attacked while having a kid. Parker was just flailing around while I was trying to chuck him in the car, putting on the seatbelts and all that. One little turn, boom. Got to be careful.
So you can get injured doing anything. And I think it's the same with martial arts, same with karate. But we can get into more specifics. So I've got the physio background. So injuries we've seen.
What's the worst injury you've seen on the mats?
There have been some breaks. I've seen, some broken toes. That's probably the worst one. We had a broken toe, saw the bone. If it's in competition, it's not going to happen at our dojo, but competition, I've seen a lot of concussions.
Yep.
Broken jaws, broken nose. You won't get that in training, but in competition, even though the competition might say it's semi-contact, you still get a broken nose.
Yeah.
I've seen ACLs being done.
In karate?
In karate, yeah, in karate. But you'll see that, if you go for a park run too, to be honest.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many.
We've got a pretty clean track record of twins, but I guess it's because Lance has got the physio background. Lance is a physio, active physio, and he's pretty much overseen our entire syllabus and all the activities and make sure they're all legit.
The good thing is we're working with a lot of kids,
Yep.
so kids are they're a bit more bendy.
Yeah.
And then with our adult crews, to manage injuries, a lot of it is trying to prevent them from happening.
Yep.
With the concussions, we don't allow, for the kids, there's no head contact with sparring, and then for adults, it's just light touch.
Yep.
So we're monitoring that pretty closely. With, say, ACL risks, so typically you'll get that changing direction or jumping. For a lot of our games, I know previously you'd play a game and keep things off with the kids. You'd have a ball, you got to throw, you got to try and keep it off other people. We typically won't play that with the adults.
No, we've learnt that, yeah.
I've had a couple of bad ACL injuries with adults playing keep things off.
How about doing flying sidekicks?
Flying sidekicks are great, big run up. Kids love it, but doing that with adults can jump higher, which means they can land harder.
Yeah.
As an adult, you just got to be realistic.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, I'm not going to do a huge flying sidekick unless I've done a good warm up.
100%.
I've prepped my body. I've done a couple of hops, a couple of long jumps. Maybe for me to go all out on a flying sidekick, I might have to prepare for it a month.
Yep.
Just build up to it. So for our adults, that's how we're mitigating with a lot of injuries.
You see some hamstring injuries sometimes with front kicks.
Yeah, I know you're big on it, Ken. We're pre-framing with the kicks. If you're not warm,
Yeah.
go a bit slower.
For the kids, I pretty much have a no excuses approach where they have to kick to the head with any sort of kick. But the adults, definitely, we need to just take it easy, listen to your body. Even for me, if I go too hard on those front kicks, I'll probably pull a hammy as well. I remember a funny story. I was doing a ninja party, and part of the party was I would do a demonstration, jumping front kick, the crane kick in the Karate Kid. I had 2 parties to do that day. Did the big crane kick, pulled my hammy that first party, and just had to battle my way, finish that party, drive to another party, get another party done. So that's why I guess you won't see me doing the birthday parties that often these days, but if I'm doing a birthday party, I'm not doing a demonstration.
Save that for the young blokes. That's something we need to be conscious of. For kids, there's less acute injuries. You will see maybe some overuse injuries, and the way we can mitigate that is just to be more variable with the games and activities.
Which ones? I'm trying to think of any.
We haven't had any for a long time, but I know previously...
Oh, push-ups maybe?
Yeah, some kids will get a bit of shoulder pain, or if they're doing a lot of sports karate, getting that hip injury by doing that punch where you're just constantly turning the hip over. If you do that 1,000 times a class. But with us, we're a bit more variable, so our sparring is essentially trying to hit without getting hit.
Yep.
So they're getting a lot of variability. Our lesson plans will change week to week. So maybe one week we're doing pre-martial arts, focus on rolling.
Yeah.
Next week it might be on blocking. The next week it might be kicking. Next week might be an obstacle course. So for kids, having that variability will definitely reduce the incidence of, some of those overuse injuries. And then for adults, just like what we said, number one thing, good warm-up.
Yeah.
Adults need a warm-up. Kids, you can get away with it. But adults, I know for me, if I don't warm up, then there's going to be a chance I'm going to get injured. I think all the injuries I've had from training martial arts is because I didn't get a good warm-up in.
And then getting a good cool down as well, yeah?
Yeah, I probably could do a better job doing the cool down, but definitely the warm-up's key.
What's your thoughts on stretching in a cool down?
Yeah, I think it's good because stretching is good because it activates your parasympathetic system, so it helps you kind of relax, helps you unwind, and because your body's already warm, you can actually get more out of the stretch.
Definitely. I've been doing a lot of pretty much the ones that you've taught me at the end of my black belt class. So doing that old man splits, which is like the splits is when you got both legs straight. This is where you're on your knees. So a little bit, you're on your knees and your legs are bent. So it's a little bit easier. Doing that, what's that stretch? You go into like a lift position number 2, so you're kneeling and then you collapse the front leg and slide your back leg.
Oh, like a pigeon stretch?
Yeah, is that the name you guys have for it?
Yeah.
And then we've been doing that, you call it a couch stretch, but it's when you find a wall.
Hip flexor.
You put your knee to the base of the wall, your heel goes to your butt, and you're on your front legs like in a kneeling position.
Yeah, a lot of kids can't do that.
Yeah, well, how come you chose those stretches to do it? I've just followed you because I'm just doing them because just from experience, I know these are good stretches. But what's the science behind those?
Yeah, for teenagers, particularly as I have become more sedentary, so they will get a lot of knee issues. And a lot of the knee issues will come because of the lack of flexibility in the hip.
Interesting.
Because if you're not flexible in your hip, how are they going to get the range of motion? They've got to get it through their knee.
I'm very flexible in the hips, eh?
Yeah, so if you think of a karate kick, if you can lift your hip up, then you'll be able to kick. But if you can't lift your hip up, you have to twist your knee, twist your back. That's where you can get the back injuries come in. So a lot of it is from the hip. So we do focus on a lot of hip stretching. Other things would be martial arts is typically very push dominant, so front of the body. So that's why we added in all of the posterior chain stuff. So the wheelbarrows, zombie drags, piggy front, all that type of stuff which is going to work more your upper back just to balance out and help your posture. So we've got the mobility, we've got the posterior chain stuff. The other thing is just having a good amount of load in your exercise. So each week, so particularly for adults, like every class, they're doing a lot of exercise. If you go from doing minimal exercise, then ramp it up, that's when injury can happen. But if you're always training hard, then you're less likely to get injured.
It's just like if you've come back from injury and you go back to normal 100%, you always get injured, eh?
Yep, that boom bust. So that's why you need to try and just keep a constant load of exercise and just maintain it.
Or if you're coming back off injury, just slowly build it up, yeah?
Slowly ramp it up. Because our body doesn't like if it's a big jump. Like if you had 6 weeks off and then go straight to HQ, roll 100% comp rounds, you're getting injured.
100%. Always. How come for the cool downs we don't do many upper body stretches and stuff? We mainly focus, it's just time? We don't
a lot of it, yeah. It's just prioritize the lower body. Yeah, but obviously you could add that in.
This is where if you know your body, you got a bit of a stiff neck, you're doing that after class.
Yeah. For the kids, it's pretty fine. For adults, I think if you're going to train martial arts, you would need to supplement it with some sort of movement practice.
Yeah.
Whether it's your yoga, your Pilates, S&C, gym work, just to round out your body.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when we ran our cardio kickboxing class, we used to always finish with foam rolling. Do you want to talk about the science behind that?
Yeah,
or you want to just start off, what is foam rolling?
So
people
foam
don't know.
rolling, so you've got a piece of foam and you're literally just rolling on it. So you can roll your back, your muscles, typically, lower body. You're not doing too much upper body with the foam roller. And it's a good way just to really get a bit deeper into the muscles.
Yep.
So it's like a massage. And then if you're getting into the joints, it's a good way to mobilize the joints to get a bit of flexibility, maybe a bit of a pop, bit of a crack, just to loosen you up.
So this would be something that you would probably recommend people get for home after they do a session. Yeah, just if you've got a sore back, get on that foam roller.
100%. I'm on it every day.
Yeah.
End of the day, especially if you're sitting all day. Like we've been sitting on doing podcasts all day, so I'm going to have to jump on the foam roller for my back.
Yeah, definitely. So that means like if you look at the podcast topic there, the risk of getting injured while doing karate is pretty low at twins. I guess back in the day when we were younger and there wasn't twins. I know the injuries that I've had, broken knuckle, both arms broken, toes, jaw. I got a deviated septum somehow. So it was a lot of breaks back in the day.
A lot of breaks,
at least for us.
Yeah, having
From
too
contact.
Too much intensity of the contact. That's where...
You just got to pick your club, yeah? Like, if you're going to a Kyokushin karate club, a couple of breaks might be on the cards. True. Whereas there's a more traditional club, there could be less. Obviously, there's going to be less breaks. You're not going as hard. Would you want to talk about other martial arts? So we're doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu. So we have a jiu-jitsu program. The aim of the sport is to put the joints out of alignment or to strangle your opponent. So because that's how the sport works, there's going to be a lot of injuries.
Do you want to talk about how you're getting injured by taking the joints out of alignment?
Yeah, so it could be, say, an arm bar. So we know that our arm can be straight. Now, if you hyperextend the arm, then you would have some sort of elbow injury. It could be if you're trying to strangle, if instead of strangling the neck, if you twist it as you're strangling, then you can, hurt their neck. And that's, with jiu-jitsu, pretty much, I don't sugarcoat it for anyone. Injuries are going to happen. For jiu-jitsu...
It's a high risk.
Super high risk. I don't even think it's high risk. I think you will get injured.
Like, there's like...
It's not high or low risk. It's like, just you will get injured.
Your wrists, like, they're getting pushed back. Fingers getting caught in gis. Thumbs getting caught in gis. Or just getting caught. Your ears getting banged up. You see a lot of cauliflower ear. Noses are getting pulled apart. All that sort of stuff.
We're not really selling jiu-jitsu, are we?
Mate, we've seen quite a few. There's a few people now at HQ got some new grills, got some new teeth. Teeth are getting pushed back a little bit.
Get knocked out.
And then you got all the leg locks are taken out. I've had my foot popped. Well, it's quite a few months back, but yeah, I'm defending those straight foot. I used to eat the straight foot locks.
Not anymore.
How come? Yeah, I used to eat the straight. Everyone used to eat the straight foot locks, but now we have to tap or getting popped. How come?
I think probably people are getting better at applying them.
That's true.
Because if you defend the heel hook, you're straightening your foot and it's putting it right into a breaking position.
Yeah.
Whereas before you put the boot on.
Yeah.
So you'd have no worries. Yeah. But if you put the boot on now, you're getting heel hooked. So with jiu-jitsu, it's even more important. You need to do some sort of movement practice. And I would say you need to do some sort of S&C to strengthen and support your body.
You got to expect getting injured, yeah.
I think also with jiu-jitsu, it helps if you've got a bit more weight on you.
Yeah.
Because if you're a smaller athlete, if you're 60, 65, 70 kilos, if you're rolling consistently versus people 85, 90, 100... We got a couple of guys at the club, 120, 130. Injuries are going to happen.
Yeah, I think depending on the way you play as well, playing on top, there's going to be less injuries because you're not getting like cross-faced. You're not getting just all that weight on top of you.
It's also where I've started moving more towards the gi, playing a bit more gi-based games. So yeah, there's a lot of things we can do.
But in the gi, your fingers getting injured, but I guess it's not as dynamic, whereas in no-gi, that's when you get injured in the scramble. Limbs are going flying, it's like a fist is going flying, all that sort of stuff, yeah?
Yeah, something's getting lost there. I guess, do you want to play your sport, have fun, build the social connections, build your body up, or would you rather, just stay on the couch because you're afraid of getting injured? And I would say staying on the couch, not exercising, you got more risks and, more severe injuries and conditions that can happen. So that's why, yeah, let's keep our kids healthy and let's get them into sport. And then even the parents listening, if you want to give it a try, more than welcome. Jump into the karate classes. If you want to jump into jiu-jitsu, that's all cool as well.
Or if you're if you're not living in Newport, we can definitely help you guys out to find the right clubs. So you're not getting injured straight off the bat.
Yeah, you don't want to get injured first class. Definitely don't want to get injured first class. Let's wrap it up there, Ken. So that's us signing off from the mansion. New School Sensei.